Are you perpetually involved in toxic relationships? Do you find it impossible to leave circumstances that are harming you? Do you often suffer in silence? Are you a people pleaser? Today, we're diving into a crucial topic that affects many of us: healing abandonment fears by changing our compulsive responses. Abandonment fears can stem from past experiences, leaving us feeling anxious, unworthy, or constantly on edge in relationships. In this video, we'll explore how identifying and altering our common responses can lead to profound healing and growth. By understanding these compulsive reactions, you'll gain insight into your own behavior patterns and how they may be linked to abandonment fears. We'll provide practical tips and strategies to help you break free from these responses and cultivate healthier ways of coping with your emotions. Whether you've struggled with abandonment fears for years or are just starting to explore this topic, this video is for you. We'll offer a fresh perspective on how changing these responses can positively impact your relationships, self-esteem, and overall well-being. So grab a cup of tea, get cozy, and let's embark on this transformative journey together. Get ready to empower yourself and take the first step towards healing your abandonment fears. Abandonment fears have deep roots in our psychological and emotional landscapes, often originating from childhood experiences or past traumas. These fears can manifest in various ways, such as fear of rejection, fear of being alone, or fear of losing loved ones. Challenges may arise when attempting to heal abandonment fears, as these ingrained responses can feel like second nature. Breaking free from these patterns requires introspection, self-awareness, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable emotions. It's not an easy journey, but the rewards of healing and growth are immeasurable. The most heartbreaking aspect of a childhood defined by neglect, inconsistency, unpredictability, or parental rage is the internalized belief that it's all our fault. This creates a pervasive fear that humans cannot be trusted and are fundamentally unsafe. This lack of trust and the constant fear of abandonment form the core of many emotional wounds. The realization that humans, especially caregivers, can be the biggest sources of pain deepens the sense of isolation and fear, impacting our ability to form secure relationships. As a child, we couldn't safely relax and trust that our parents would consistently be there. This led to a survival mechanism where we abandoned our own needs and emotions, forming a trauma response rooted in fear and hypervigilance. This coping strategy starts so early that it shapes our entire personality, making us live in constant fear that people are unsafe and untrustworthy. As an adult, this ingrained fear persists, leaving us unsure of where to begin healing, as our true self has been suppressed to avoid abandonment. This compulsion stems from our childhood need to protect ourselves. These behaviors become ingrained, and so we define ourselves as being them, rather than seeing how we have adopted coping mechanisms to survive. Healing from abandonment wounds is a gradual process, and while they may always exist, we can learn to manage them effectively. Let us delve into some of these compulsive behaviors that may have become second nature. Firstly, we exhibit compulsive shame, constantly believing we're not enough, which protects us from potential rejection. To heal, we must address our shame, focusing on identity work, boundaries, and self-actualization. This involves rebuilding a sense of self that was neglected while trying to avoid abandonment. Then, compulsive self-reliance. This often stems from avoidant attachment patterns, where we rely solely on ourselves due to past necessity. This self-abandonment arises because we find it hard to depend on others, feeling safe and in control only when alone. Celebrating our independence is important, but healing requires learning to ask for help, share our emotions, and let others into our life. Compulsive need to know. Driven by a discomfort in our own skin from childhood, we seek distractions such as addictions or binge eating to calm ourselves. Address this by confronting how you numb your feelings and finding healthier ways to cope with loneliness. Compulsive perfectionism. Common among those with childhood trauma, Perfectionism is a defense mechanism to avoid abandonment by being flawless. This inner and outer critic pushes us to be perfect to be loved. Recognize that perfection is an illusion and work on accepting your imperfections. Many people suffering from this wound dwell on the negative aspects, fixating on their tendency to overemphasize flaws. It's about recognizing the pattern of self-neglect, the tendency to deprive oneself of love, compassion, and the support that's rightfully deserved. Then there's the pattern of compulsively gravitating towards emotionally unavailable individuals. It's a familiar narrative, often a replication of childhood experiences. Despite believing each situation to be different, a closer examination reveals recurring themes. By taking inventory of our relationships, friends, bosses, neighbors, romantic partners, or crushes, we can discern these patterns. It's crucial to slow down, avoiding the allure of instant connections, and instead allowing relationships to develop gradually, revealing true vulnerabilities over time. Compulsive dissociation and maladaptive daydreaming serve as coping mechanisms, enabling us to escape reality temporarily. While this may have helped us endure challenging times, it also detaches us from our emotional needs and experiences. Grounding techniques and mindfulness can counteract this tendency, bringing us back to the present moment. Compulsive distrust of others often stems from a deep-seated belief that nobody will truly be there for us. While spiritual beliefs may provide some solace, there's an inherent understanding that ultimately we navigate our paths alone to some extent. Accepting this reality doesn't guarantee immunity from pain or betrayal, but it does allow for a more grounded perspective on human relationships and our own vulnerabilities. Human beings are intricate creatures, and addressing that complexity involves gradually allowing others into our lives. It means opening up and sharing vulnerabilities, taking small steps forward, and persisting in our efforts. It's about resisting the impulse to approach every situation with a mindset of expecting the worst, a habit often born from childhood hypervigilance where scanning for threats was essential for survival. It may seem counterintuitive, but part of the process is learning to trust in our ability to handle whatever comes our way. While we may not always trust everyone else, cultivating self-trust and understanding our own needs is paramount. Now onto the topic of compulsive self-dysregulation, a significant issue for many, stemming from childhood survival instincts. Emotions became like a game of whack-a-mole, popping up unexpectedly or manifesting as physical symptoms like headaches. We lacked the skills to navigate emotions calmly, lacking knowledge in areas like polyvagal theory, nervous system regulation, and identifying cognitive distortions and deep-seated negative beliefs. This difficulty is compounded by genetic and neurological factors. However, practices like breathing techniques and guided meditation can offer relief. Learning to recognize when such interventions are needed is crucial, aided by tools like a trusty meditation pillow or a loved teddy bear. Creating a little sanctuary in your home, a special spot with flowers or a cozy blanket, can aid in your regulation skills. Researching techniques like DBT regulation skills from dialectical behavioral therapy can be beneficial. While initially designed for those with borderline personality disorder, the core issues often revolve around trauma and a fear of abandonment, which many of us experience to some degree. Learning to manage our bodies and approach situations differently is key, along with addressing underlying beliefs and soothing trauma. Remember, you did the best you could with the resources you had. It's not your fault if you didn't have a safe space to develop fully. You deserve to be here, to occupy space. By addressing these compulsive behaviors and focusing on self-love and support, you can cultivate a strength that has always resided within you. These are lifelong strategies, rewiring patterns that have been ingrained since birth. Recognize your worthiness and the importance of being present for yourself. You are someone the world needs to see, but it starts with seeing that in yourself first. Opportunities lie in the transformative power of changing our compulsive responses. By recognizing and modifying these behaviors, we open the door to healthier relationships, increased self-esteem, and a greater sense of inner peace. Embracing this process offers a chance to rewrite our narratives, release old wounds, and step into a brighter, more empowered future. So let's embark on this journey together and discover the path to healing abandonment fears. Here are the key points that we need to address. 1. Identifying compulsive responses. Recognize behaviors like seeking constant reassurance, avoiding conflict at all costs, or becoming overly dependent on others as signs of abandonment fears. 2. Understanding triggers. Explore what situations or interactions trigger these responses. For example, feeling ignored by a partner may trigger feelings of abandonment. 3. Challenging negative beliefs. Work on challenging negative beliefs about yourself, such as, "I'm not worthy of love," by replacing them with positive affirmations like, "I am deserving of love and respect." 4. Building self-compassion. Practice self-compassion by treating yourself with kindness and understanding, just as you would a close friend facing similar struggles. 5. Setting boundaries. Establish healthy boundaries in relationships to protect your emotional well-being and communicate your needs effectively. 6. Seeking support. Don't be afraid to seek support from a therapist, counselor, or support group to navigate through the process of healing abandonment fears. 7. Practicing mindfulness. Engage in mindfulness practices to stay present in the moment and manage overwhelming emotions that may arise. 8. Embracing vulnerability. Embrace vulnerability as a strength, allowing yourself to be open and authentic in your relationships without fear of rejection. 9. Cultivating self-love. Focus on self-love and self-care practices to nurture a positive relationship with yourself and boost self-esteem. 10. Celebrating progress. Celebrate small victories along the way, acknowledging the steps you've taken towards healing and growth in overcoming abandonment fears. When it comes to healing abandonment fears by changing compulsive responses, there are various perspectives to consider. Some experts argue that delving into past traumas and childhood experiences is essential for understanding the root causes of these fears. On the other hand, some believe that focusing solely on the present moment and developing coping strategies for current triggers is more effective in promoting healing. Research suggests that individuals with abandonment fears may struggle with attachment styles, such as anxious or avoidant attachment. Understanding these attachment patterns can offer valuable insights into how we form and maintain relationships. However, it's important to recognize that everyone's journey towards healing is unique, and what works for one person may not necessarily work for another as efficiently. As we navigate through the complexities of abandonment, fears, and compulsive responses, it's crucial to remain open to different viewpoints and approaches. How have your past experiences shaped your responses to abandonment fears? What strategies have you found helpful in changing these patterns? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below to continue this enriching discussion. Remember, it's crucial to understand your triggers, challenge negative beliefs, set boundaries, practice self-compassion, and seek support when needed. Embracing vulnerability, cultivating self-love, and celebrating your progress are key components of this healing process. As you continue on this journey, I encourage you to reflect on how your past experiences have shaped your responses to abandonment fears and consider different perspectives and approaches to healing. Your unique story and experiences are valuable, and by sharing them, you contribute to a community of support and understanding. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful content on personal growth and emotional well-being. Like and share this video with others who may benefit from this information. Together, let's empower ourselves to heal abandonment fears and create fulfilling, authentic relationships. Thank you for watching.